I'm there. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Vickie from Green Sewing and Vacuum. And wow, it's been a week. It has been a week. This was Baby Lock Tech Week, which of course we didn't go to St. Louis for it, but you know, St. Louis is 2 hours ahead of us. And so those 8:30 classes that we signed up for, not 8:30, they're 6:30. So that was kind of like, okay, Tina, I'm coming with the coffee and the toothpicks, and we'll keep the eyeballs open and see what we can do. But learn some new fun stuff. Got some just some great ideas on some things to do. So we will be implementing them. But anyway, just have a few things to show you. Obviously, I didn't do any sewing this weekend, so I don't have anything other than what I worked on the weekend before. And so this is actually an item that I made using they are built-in designs in the Solaris, but it's using the connecting point tool. All of a sudden my brain can't remember the name of what it was, but what it does is so it has half the design of the wreath, and then you tell it that once you've completed this half, pattern connect, there we go. Once you complete this half, then it'll say, okay, are you ready to add the other half? And it kind of walks you through on what to do so that you can get the whole wreath. So I did the wreath, 97 minutes a half. So quite a while to stitch that out. And then I used also built-in design for the bit on the border. And I just I had to size it because the ankles are different sizes. I think one was 8 and one was 10. So I just kind of sized them out. I did stitch out samples of both of them, cut them close to the size that I would be using so I could lay it out to make sure that it was going to fit where I wanted it to fit. And then I quilted it, of course, just using the point to point that I have done before in previous video, which I'll be showing that again sometime, but I used the point to point to set up my area to do the stippling in. So anyway, you might want to come in and see it. I think it turned out pretty cool. And I did this on the linen that we have in, and it's stitched up beautifully. I mean, it was just awesome to work with. So you'll have to maybe pop in to see that one. So, all right. And then I have a couple of things here that Raina has worked on. She brought in for us. She actually brought little Jerome the gnome in that she was making for herself. And she used some of the gnome cotton fabric that we had come in from Riley Blake. That's what she used for the body, and then a black with white dots for the hands and the boots, and then of course just used the Cuddle buffalo plaid for this. So we had this awesome fabric come in from Cuddle. It's a real long fur, as you can see. It's really some nice stuff. So we used this for his beard. So what we did, we actually took the pieces of this and sized what you would need for a beard, so you can get just a piece for the beard. You don't have to buy a full 1/3 of a yard of the full width of the fabric. Which this fabric is not real inexpensive, but the beard is only $6.50 that we made up. Hi, Vinny. Vinny's down here, and Tina's trying to get him to go the other way. So, but I think, of course, Jerome the gnome is so cool, and Raina's actually working on one for the shop where she's going to be using the Cuddle gnome fabric that we have for the body, and again using the same beard. But this just turned out, I mean, it's just like you just want to keep petting it. You know, maybe braid his little beard or something, but I just think he turned out really cute. So we've got little Jerome the gnome. And then he was sitting on some new fabric, Christmas fabric we had come in. I only pulled 3 pieces over because there's, I don't remember how many pieces are in the line, but it's put out by Buttermilk Creek. Am I right? Yes. It's actually called Christmas at Buttermilk Acres. and it's so cute. It's got a real old-fashioned look to it. This is the Santas, very retro, old-fashioned looking. I love that sagey green that they've put with that. So they've got this, there's little plaids, there's all kinds of little coordinates that go with it. So there's the Santa, and then this has little trees on it, and then there's a sleigh with reindeer. There's actually 8 tiny reindeer. I know you can only see 4 of them in the red, but there are 8 tiny reindeer that go with it. And so just kind of a nice line of fabric. And then this is one of the little diagonal plaids. I don't know if you can see that, but that little diagonal plaid, we've got that in the red and the green. But there's, as I said, there's a few other coordinates that go along with it. I didn't bring them all over to show you. So, and these items are not yet on the website. They will get there. Tina's been pretty busy this week, what with Baby Lock Tech and all of that. So it's been a little crazy lately, but we will get them on there. And then you can also always come in and see us. So, but some of the fun things that they also did with the Buttermilk Acres, they did a series of panels. And so here is Santa checking his list, is what Jackie just said. So there's that one. And then here's Santa in the sky on this one. Would make a cute apron front on these. You could do some pillows, add a little bit to it. I'm thinking I'd even be able to make a bench pillow out of these with adding some more fabric. We'll have to check that out and see. That would be kind of fun. So there's that set. And then there's Santa getting into his sleigh. And then Santa going down the chimney. But real old fashioned, like I said, kind of a retro look to the Santa. I like those. And then this is a canvas like, so it's got a little heavier feel to it, almost like a dish towel type feel to it. And so there's this one with the tree that says Merry Christmas. And then pure holly sugar on that one. So they kind of, as I said, they kind of classify it as a tea towel, but I have other plans. So we'll see what happens. But so those are just really fun. And like I said, we will be getting them on the website. They're just not there yet. So that was some fun Christmas stuff that we had come in. Of course, we did get the Kimber Candy Corn Quilt Shop, the CD for the embroidery, that's here now. The embellishment kit, which is really fun. It's got a real cute, says it's a little tombstone that says, "Here lies an unfinished quilt, may it rest in pieces." And then look at the little mannequin, and she's got like a little organza skirt, which I think is so cute, and just some really cute things in this. But of course, they do some really cute stuff. And then, of course, we do have the fabric kits. I can't really dig it out because it looks like I'll make a mess if I do. So sorry, you have to come in to see that one because I don't want to make a mess. But really some cute things on that. And then last year's Twilight Boulevard bench pillow, Raina came up with an idea. I made the pillow that we have here in the shop, but then she made one for herself later on. But this is something that she came up with, and I think it turned out so cute. She actually stitched the Candy Corn Quilt Shop on fabric through the canvas frame of this picture. And I don't know if you can really see it or not. I'm going to turn them off, So lights off and then lights on. And just it's just really cute. She's got the lights on the eaves, on the eve of the house. And then she took the rest of them and entwined them in the bow. So the bow also glows. And so just thought that really turned out cute. And then she took some of the extra lights and just tried to space them so it looked like they were glowing through the windows. And so she just, I'm not going to show you the back because it's not very pretty. But that was using Twilight Boulevard, which of course you could also do that with some of the blocks from the candy corn quilt shop. That would work out really well too. And then in addition to the candy corn quilt shop kits, we did get the line of fabric. And here again, this is just a handful of the ones that came with it, but there's bats on green, there's bats on purple, and I believe they're also on gray. And so that's one of the pieces. And then there's polka dots, and I don't remember what colors the polka dots come in. I just grabbed the purple and the lime because I really like purple and lime together. Some fun polka dots. And I loved this diagonal stripe, and that comes in, I believe, 3 different colorways too. I think it's a purple on purple, the black and white, and I think an orange and black, but I'm not real sure on that. But I just thought the diagonal stripe was really cool. And then the main fabric for the line, this comes in both a gray background and a black background, and it's just showing the different houses. There's a Paws and Claws animal shelter. The candy corn quilt shop is on here again. The Dead Breakfast Inn, it looks like. And then Scaredy Cats and Creepy Critters Welcome. And and then there's a little doghouse with a sign on it that says, "We're bone to be wild." Okay, so just some really cute, and we bought all of the Halloween fabrics, so we have all of them for the candy corn quilt shop. So you can pick your backing. The backing does not come in the kit, and so but you could pick the backing that you want. And there's really some fun fabrics in it. So tonight, I kind of racked my brain because I didn't get any sewing done, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to show. But then it kind of came to me this morning, and then it was just reaffirmed this afternoon because Tina was doing a class with a customer about her new machine, and they were going over the one-step buttonhole. And whenever I talk to somebody about a machine and I mention the one-step buttonhole, they always say, "Oh, I'm not going to do buttonholes. I don't need to do buttonholes. I don't need to know how to do buttonholes." But if you saw how easy it is to do a buttonhole with the one-step buttonhole, you really wouldn't turn away from doing it. So I'm just going to do a real quick demo on the one-step buttonhole, and then I'll also show you how you can just use the sew-on button foot, and we will get to it. So let me get my stuff going here. So, whoops, hello. So you just want to go this one. And oh, crap. Oh, sorry. Unplug that camera. We're working. We're fine. So no biggie. Ready? So this is the one-step buttonhole and our whole attachment. And so so what you're going to do is, this is really cool. This is it closed, and we're going to put the button in here. So any size button that will fit, I mean, that's a good sized button that we've got right there. So we're going to take the button and you just pop it in that holder and it sits in the holder. Bring it down so I can see it. Okay, and it sits in the holder just like that. It's going to hold it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the foot on the machine. Okay, there back here, there's a bar. Let me go pull that back off again. This bar right
on this one.
on that one. Okay, this bar on the foot, you want to make sure there's a drop down attachment in the machine, and we're going to try to show that to you. That's going to go behind this bar because it's measuring from this bar to this white part right here. That's the length of the buttonhole for this button. So every single buttonhole I would make would be exactly this size. So you just drop your button into that holder, put it on the machine, and then there's a pull down back here that you pull down, and like I said, it goes behind that metal bar. So as long as it goes behind that bar, then you'll be fine. So then you go into the machine, and this machine has a number of different buttonholes. So I'm just going to use one that's fairly wide because I want you to be able to see it. So I'm going to pop that. Oh, that's the narrow one. I want there. We want the wide one. So I can just take my fabric. Now, one of the things that you'll have to remember is that this buttonhole is going to start from this front part and go backwards. So you would want to make sure that you just marked your buttonholes accordingly. So, and I generally will mark where I kind of want the bottom of my buttonhole and then just put the buttonholes onto the project that I'm doing. When I put it into the machine, I just, depending on the item, it really does depend on what I'm making as to how far away the edge of the foot is going to be from the edge of that folded fabric. That's just kind of it depends on how big my the placket is that I may be putting it on. So that's going to change from project to project. So you just put that in, step on the gas, and it's going to do all the work for you. You can see it's going to go back. It comes forward. It does the first part zigzag, the left side of the button. It'll get up to the top, go all the way across. It's coming down again and going back. And it's going to make it exactly to that size for that button. So it slows down on its own, and it's going to stop on its own. You cut it, and you have the perfect size buttonhole for that button. Get my fingers out of the way so you guys can see. But the perfect size buttonhole for that button. So then I take my handy dandy buttonhole slicer, and there's a little apple wooden thing that comes with it, and you just take that and push it. Oh, I gotta get off the plastic. Push it in, move, and push it in. I knew I was gonna get a dull one. That one's been around for a while. There we go. And you just push it through, and it will slice the button. Okay, Vickie. I need a new buttonhole cutter.
A little dull.
Or I need more muscles. There we go. Okay, so
On this one.
okay, so there's your buttonhole right there. I mean, it's just like perfect. And every single buttonhole I would make with that button will be this exact same size, which is pretty amazing, I think. So now I'm just going to take that foot off. You want to remember to raise that bar back up again because it's not, well, the machine will tell you, but you want to raise that bar up. So now I'm going to use, there's two different sew on button feet and that come with the machines. This is the one that I am going to show tonight just because it happened to be sitting with this machine. But you can see it has, first off, there's this little plastic peg here. If you pull this forward, what it does is it pulls up a little bit of a plastic that when it sews the thread on, it's going to make like a shank for the button. So if you didn't want your button to sit so flush to the fabric, you would push that. I generally have it pushed to the back because I don't want the shank. So you'll look at this bar right here is what's going to go onto the ankle of the machine. If you look, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's two little red dots on this foot, and that's what is going to help you. And then here, it's got like a spring-loaded metal piece that is going to hold the button in place. So you're going to slide the button into that spring load and kind of get it lined up with those holes and put it into the machine. So again, there is a stitch in the buttonhole area on page 2 of this machine that shows like a button with a little stitch. And what it does is it automatically drops the feed dogs and sets the zigzag to a standard width of holes in buttons. And I say standard because they do, some of them vary. So one of the things that what I like to do is once I get the button in there and I kind of have it lined up where I think it's going to be fine. I'm seeing the holes. It looks like it's going to work. What I do is I bring the button down where I have marked that I'm going to be doing, where I want to place that button. But one of the things that I do is I use the hand wheel and I crank to see that it's clearing that hole and it's clearing that hole. I want to make sure that it clears the two holes before I just step on the gas and let it go, because you can break a needle if you hit that button just right. So once you find out that it is clearing, you're just going to go ahead. I don't have enough bobbin thread in there. So needle up. Try that. Make sure that it didn't shift on me. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then I recently made a blouse at home, which Jackie is now the recipient of because it didn't quite fit me. I wasn't real happy with it. But what I did is I went and I sewed the buttons down twice, just for a little extra stability. So before I do any kind of cutting of my threads or anything, I just step on the gas and let it sew it again. And cut it. And it just slides right out. And so then I have buttonhole and button that are just sewn on. It's nice and firm. And the buttonhole, I got that a little close, didn't I? It's backwards, but that's okay. And it fits perfectly. So really easy to do. The one-step buttonhole is that one. Okay, hi. Here I am. The one-step buttonhole is really cool, and the sew-on button foot is just amazing. So give it a try. You know, sometime. I mean, even. I want to do some for the, you know, closures on pillows. It would be really cool to do some. I actually have one here that I've done, but I want to do some more because there's just some really fun things that you can do with buttons. I mean, we all have these wonderful buttons, and sometimes just think about your grandmother's button box. Sometimes there's really cool buttons in there and what you could do with them. So hope that was kind of fun, a little informative. And I hope everybody has an awesome weekend. And we look forward to seeing you the next time. So thank you, everybody. Take care. Good night.